Tuesday, October 28, 1913.
Whatever we have been able to give you, in these messages, has been transmitted to you by means of impressing your mind with our thoughts and words. In doing this we take, and make use of, as much as we find there, so that we may the more easily get our own thoughts through. Frequently, however, we have been obliged, of necessity, to call your spirit away from the earth's surroundings, and give you a vision of the places we are describing, and you have written down what you have seen. No, we did not actually take you out of your body, because you have been really conscious all the time. What we did, was to engage and absorb your attention, that we might infuse power into your interior sight, the sight of your spiritual body, and at those moments, you were scarcely conscious of your surroundings. You forgot them, and became oblivious to them, and then we were able to impart to you, in a measure, the power of distant vision, and to this, we added the incidents as we had witnessed them ourselves. For instance, when we described the coming of the harp of light to the city of Castrol, we showed you the city as it is, but we reconstructed the incidents of the crowds on the walls, and the meeting outside the gates, and all the parts of the ceremony which we wished you to write down. That is what was done. How it was done, you will understand someday when you come over here. We are now going to try to show you another scene. And here we may say that we use the word try because, although with a good subject we do not often fail, yet we are not omnipotent, and there are many things which may intervene to hinder our endeavor and modify our success. Well then, give us your attention a while, and we will tell you of a ceremony which we witnessed, when a company of people came to visit our colony to learn about our work. You must understand that we go to each other's homes, and learn of one another in this way, and get to know what we can, of the various aspects of work going on in different parts. We were standing near the top of the hill, behind this home, watching their coming. At last we saw them, high in the air and far away over the wide-spreading plain. The sky behind them was streaked with horizontal layers of crimson, gold and green, and by that we knew from what region they came, and the nature of their work. They were students in a distant settlement, whose principal branch of knowledge was proper use of ceremonial and ritual, and its effects on those who use it. We watched them coming along the heavenly way, and then a party of our own people, who were waiting on the plain, rose into the air and proceeded to meet the visitors. It was very interesting to see them meet in the air. High up in the heavens they approached each other, and when they were some little distance away, our party sounded a welcome on what looked and sounded like post horns, and then others produced other instruments, and, while they played, others sang a welcome. They had halted now, and we saw that behind them was a chariot and 2 horses. It was very much like the chariots of old times. There is no reason why we should not use carriages of modern build, but shelter is unnecessary, and the old open vehicles have persisted to the present day. When the visitors came near they halted, and there the 2 parties faced each other, standing in the air. Try to imagine it. It seems strange to you, but one day you will see that it is quite natural to our present state, and, if progressed enough, we are able not only to stand, but to kneel, lie or walk in the midst of space, very much as if it were on solid earth. Then the leader of our band, and the chief of the visitors, approached each other between the 2 ranks. They took each other by both hands, and kissed each other on the forehead and cheeks. And then our leader took his visitor's left hand, in his own right, and led him towards the chariot, our party dividing to give them passage, and bowing respectfully as they passed. When the 2 chiefs had entered the chariot, their followers ran together with outstretched hands, and gladly saluted one another as the others had done. And then all turned their faces towards us, and came on at a leisurely walking pace, until they descended at the foot of the hill. I cannot make you see the effect of an approach by air. I have tried to do so more than once, but that is outside your imagination. So I can only tell you that it is most beautiful to watch. The movement of these high spirits, such as Castrol and Arnold and others of their rank, when walking on the ground, is not only most graceful, it is fascinating in its beauty of poise and movement. But in the air it is much more so. The soft, graceful, gliding motion, full of quiet and gentle dignity and of strength and power, is princely and angelic. So these 2 now came to us. They descended, and then walked by a winding path to the chief's house. He rules here with our mother angel, and I do not think there is much difference in their status or rank. 4. Except by direct questioning, which we hesitate to use, it is not easy to tell which of two people so nearly, if not quite equal, is the one who by a little degree excels. For so great is the love and harmony between such, that command and obedience seem to blend into one gracious and smiling endeavor of service, and we are at a loss sometimes to distinguish between the estate of two so highly developed as these. The chief's residence would very forcibly remind you of a medieval castle, set on a rock halfway up a mountainside and surrounded by waving trees and foliage of many tints, green, red, brown, and gold, and multitudes of flowers and green patches of grass. They passed under the gateway, and so within, and we saw them no more. But we noticed that the presence of that radiant company within illuminated the windows of the castle, as if suddenly some thousands of electric lamps had been set going. And the colored lights we saw were most beautiful, for they did not melt into one tint but mingled together, each preserving its own hue, and streaming through the apertures like so many streams of rainbow radiance. I have often mentioned gateways, but you will have observed that I have not spoken of gates. Now, so far, I have not seen a gate to any of the many gateways I have seen here. You read in the book of the Revelation, of the holy city and its gates, but I have thought of it, being reminded of it by these gates to what are, evidently, similar cities to that which St. John saw in presence form, and I doubt whether that city had gates to the gateways. And that may be what he means, when he says that the gates shall not be shut by day, and, remembering that in the cities as he knew them on earth, the gates were not shut by day, except in times of war, but were shut by night continually, he adds, by way of explanation, that there is no night here in this land. These are only my thoughts, and may not be correct, but you can look up the passage, and refresh your memory, and decide for yourself. I was not present at the festival within the castle, so will not describe it, as I only heard of it at second hand, and prefer to tell you of things I myself have witnessed, which I can do more vividly. It was a most glorious affair, however, as one can well credit, when so many high spirits brought their glory together. Ah well, dear lad, you will see it all some day soon, when you and your dear ones will all be here in God's good land, on which his love and blessing descend like dew upon sweet meadowlands, with the fragrance all around. And is it strange, if we who learn continually, how much more blessed it is to give than to receive, should seek to waft some of this sweetness, on our breath through the veil, that those on your side may breathe it too, and taste how sweet and gracious the Lord is, and how blessed are they who rest on him. Whose blessing we invoke on you and yours, now and ever. Amen.